Since the beginning of this month, social media giant WhatsApp has given group admins more power and control over the content being shared on the platform. Admins are now able to delete for all, which was an option previously allowed only for those who had sent the message. Experts say failure to delete any content that is illegal could land admins into hot water. Let's discuss this more with family digital safety expert Sarah Hoffman. Sarah, thanks so much for speaking to us this evening. So more control is a good thing in some ways because threats, hate speech, incitement, racist or sexist comments, these can now be censored. But there is a flip side, and that has negative implications for the group admins. Tell us a little bit more about how this would work.
Hi, Andy. Lovely to be with you. So we've been saying to everyone we speak to that this new change on WhatsApp gives WhatsApp admins superpowers, but also super responsibilities. And as you quite rightly said, it does put admins in the position to get rid of quite quickly if they see it incitement, hate speech, violence, racist, homophobic, any illegal content on the group. But the flip side, as you suggested, is that in terms of South African law, if you know about content and you are in a position to delete content and you choose not to, you can be legally responsible for that content. So this is a major change which has significant consequences for WhatsApp group admins.
Is there a legal precedent for a group admin being found liable, and which laws are at play here?
So it's a great question. So we've had precedent in South African law in terms of Facebook, and we've had case law which says that if you are the administrator of a Facebook group, you are able to control what is posted on that group and therefore able to control what is published and therefore in a position to either delete or remove unwanted, illegal, unlawful content. And to the extent that you are aware of that content and you're able to delete it, you could be held legally responsible. There was always quite a big question mark around the extent to which this law applied to WhatsApp group admins, because as we know, until this change, on WhatsApp, you were only able to delete your own post, right? And you were only able to delete it for an hour or so after it had been posted. But what this new setting has done is it allows an admin to delete the post of anybody else in that group, anybody in the group who posted it, for up to 2 days after that had been posted. So that's quite a far-reaching power for that admin. And I guess the only line of defense now that an admin would have is that they didn't know that that had been posted. They would have to show that, you know, maybe they were away and they didn't have phone signal. They would have to prove they actually didn't know that that content had been posted to show that they weren't legally responsible for hosting it.
So this also could be taken further. Could other WhatsApp group members also be held liable according to this chain of publication law if they do not clearly state their disapproval of such comments or, for instance, leave the group saying, you know, I disagree with this kind of a comment? What's the responsibility of other group members?
Absolutely. So we've been interpreting this law for a long time now to any member of a WhatsApp group and saying that if you are associated with negative or illegal or unlawful content in any way and you know about it and you don't dissociate yourself in some way, you could be held responsible. We don't technically have precedent in South African law of WhatsApp group members, but our interpretation of international law and what we're seeing happening internationally strongly suggests that this could be applied in a South African context. But what we do know, and we can absolutely say with certainty, is that the administrator of the WhatsApp group now has this added ability to absolutely censor or control and delete inappropriate, illegal or unlawful content. So they have a greater ability to do so with immediacy.
Is there any way for group admins to indemnify themselves from responsibility, such as by posting a disclaimer when the group is created, for instance?
Unfortunately, that wouldn't really be effective because of the legal precedents we've said. I would say, if I can offer any practical advice for group admins, it's really just take a look at what groups you are administrators of. I think so many of us belong to so many groups that we've often forgotten about. We often archive chats that don't pop up in our feed when new content is posted, and therefore we could not be aware of content being posted. And on another practical level, wherever possible, I know it's not always suitable, but I strongly recommend admin-only chat groups where it's appropriate to do so. So we work with a lot of schools, for example, and that is a great opportunity to have an admin-only group, and that allows you greater control in terms of what is shared on that group.
So, like you've just said, I mean, if I just count the WhatsApp groups that I'm on for work, for family, for social activities, there's quite a few, and many people use WhatsApp extensively for ease of communication. What are the broader long-term implications for that ease of use going forward? Do you think this could see WhatsApp, being used less and less in situations where there is a danger that people could post comments and where group admins are just not willing to take on that risk?
Such a great question, Annie, but with all of these platforms, rules are changing, settings are changing all the time. I know when WhatsApp last changed its privacy policy, there was a great migration to Signal and Telegram and platforms that a lot of people believed had greater security and privacy regulations. I think we really have to just adhere to the principles of being good digital citizens all around, no matter what platform we're using. We have to watch what we say. We have to not be associated with negative content. We have to leave groups, no matter what platform, where other people are posting inappropriate content that doesn't sit right with us, that we think may be inappropriate. I think there's a general standard of digital citizenship that all of us really need to employ, no matter what platform we're using.
So do you think this is going to, in a way, teach especially youngsters and even adults to be more digitally responsible in the ways that they communicate, and that, essentially saying that, oh, well, I didn't realize that just doesn't cut it anymore?
I certainly hope so. And what we know for sure, and we do a lot of work with teens and tweens, and we know that they lack the impulse control to really regulate what they say. And so much of the time, this results in bad things being posted, often in the context of a WhatsApp group. So the hope is, with changes like this and, the law backing it up, is that people take these things a little bit more seriously. But we do have to do our part to really educate everybody, specifically our teens and our tweens and students who are starting out their online life, to understand the ramifications of what they post online.
Thank you so much for clarifying a lot of those issues. Family digital safety expert Sarah Hoffman telling us there about new rules on WhatsApp, especially for group admins. You're going to have to watch what those in your groups post so that you don't have to bear the weight of that.